After my husband passed away, life became an overwhelming blur. The grief consumed me, and the silence in the house, once filled with laughter and warmth, now seemed deafening. I tried to keep things normal, especially for my son, who had already lost his father, but the weight of it all seemed impossible to bear. But as time went on, something unexpected began to stir inside me. It wasn't just the loneliness, it was a deeper yearning, something that I hadn't felt in years. It was as if my husband's absence left a void in my life, and I didn't know how to fill it. I knew it wasn't the right thing to feel. After all, how could I even think about these things after all we had been through together? Now, to get the clearer picture, like this video and subscribe. Then came my husband's nephew. He had always been a quiet and reserved young man, but after my husband's passing, he started visiting more often. At first, it was just to check on me and offer help around the house. I welcomed the support, not realizing how much I needed the company. He was like a breath of fresh air amidst the heavy grief that surrounded me. His presence gave me something to look forward to, and I started feeling a bond that I hadn't anticipated. Until one evening, everything changed. It was late, and the house was dark. He stayed longer than usual, and we found ourselves talking. Really talking. I had always thought of him as family, but now there was something different in the way we interacted. The emotional weight of our conversation, the vulnerability of it, somehow brought us closer. I felt understood, seen in a way I hadn't felt in a long time. And in that moment, I realized I was craving connection, something I had been lacking since my husband's passing. But I tried to dismiss it. I reminded myself of the boundaries, of the sacredness of family and the respect I owed my late husband. Still, the tension lingered. Every time we spoke, the air seemed thicker, charged with something I couldn't put into words. I wanted to push it away, but it followed me. The moments we shared, the simple acts of kindness, began to blur the line between family and something deeper, more complicated. And with each passing day, the temptation grew harder to ignore. I knew this wasn't right. He was my husband's nephew, and the guilt weighed on me like an anchor, pulling me deeper into confusion. But then I started to wonder if my feelings were a response to the emptiness I had felt after losing my husband. Perhaps it wasn't about him, but about the need to feel alive again, to feel wanted. Could I have misinterpreted what was happening? Until, one day, I found myself alone with him again. It was late afternoon, and we were sitting in the living room, the same place where I had shared countless memories with my husband. My heart raced as he looked at me, his eyes full of concern, but something else too, something I couldn't deny. I wanted to back away, to tell him to stop, to remind myself of the right thing. But the words never came. We spoke, and in that moment, everything felt like it was in slow motion. The world outside the house seemed far away. I couldn't hear the birds chirping or the wind blowing. I could only hear my heartbeat and feel the weight of the choices I was making. The conflict raged inside me, my love for my late husband, my guilt, my longing for something to fill the void, and the pull towards something new, something forbidden. But then, as I sat with him, I realized that this moment wasn't about passion or desire. It was about me, about my emotional state, about the grief I hadn't truly dealt with, about the loneliness that had driven me to this point. I knew I couldn't go down this path, not in this way, not with him. I had to stop before I lost everything I held dear, including my sense of self. Until that day, I hadn't fully understood the depth of my need for emotional connection. I had been so focused on the absence of my husband, on what I had lost, that I hadn't taken the time to heal. But I knew now that what I needed wasn't an escape. It wasn't another person to fill the void. It was time. Time to grieve, time to rebuild, and time to find peace within myself. So I distanced myself consciously, painfully, from what could have been. I didn't want to lose everything just because I was searching for something to fill the emptiness. It wasn't about him. It wasn't about me. It was about the love I had once shared, the memories that deserved to stay sacred, and the understanding that healing takes time. In the end, I understood that the tension between us had been a reflection of something much deeper, a need for emotional connection, a desire for comfort, and a struggle with my grief. But I also realized that true healing could only come from within. And while the journey was long, I began to learn how to fill that void with self-love, patience, and understanding. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel.